Hello, everybody. Welcome to Module 6 and the podcast project. I wanted to take a minute to walk you through this project so that way you can see what it's all about and you know what you're doing. All right, so let's jump in. So podcast overview. This is using your area of interest. So make sure you're using your area of interest for this project and that you don't create a new topic. Just use the area of interest that you've been using all along with this course. So for this one, I just want to jump into the rubric first. This is the rubric for the project. It is the podcast project. I will add that information there so you'll see it. There is quite a bit in this rubric, so make sure you take some time to look at it. We're looking at all the different elements. So for every different page in the podcast, there is something that goes into the podcast, and there's a rubric that kind of explains what we're looking for as well as things that you need to add. So as you're here, you'll notice that there is a template. So you can either view it from here, but I would suggest to all of you go in where it says podcast template, click on it. You'll be able to create your podcast and it looks just like this. So let's take a moment to walk through it. I'm going to go ahead and take this one back to edit because that way you can see it from the full edit view and I won't have to create a new one. So there we go. So this is once you create your template, yours will look like this. You'll put your name in here so that way you'll have it. You can delete this random stuff once you set up yours. And as you're looking at this, into close some of these because we have notes throughout because we were working on this as a team. So as we click here, this gives you your table of contents of everything that's kind of covered. There are like 10 steps to this. This is the only thing that you'll be working on is Module 6, in Module 6. So Module 6 is all about your podcast. So you have the whole week to work on this, and we're opening it early so that way you can get started. So let's dive into part 1. So this one, you're looking at your podcast title, your summary, and your genre. So you have a page that you'll fill out. You'll go in and replace this text and create a summary of your podcast. Then you'll go in and select the genre that you want for your podcast. So make sure you add your name. So in this one, it's name, the summary, and then select your genre. So you can kind of delete some of these. You don't need to keep all these boxes. You can get rid of them so you can add more space. But make sure you add in those 3 really important elements. So part 2 is all about you. You are the host. You're going to put in a biography and your description. So for this one, you're going to pop your image right here. And at the same time, you're going to put your name up here. You're going to give us a short biography about yourself. So you can make yourself sound kind of fancy. So go ahead and add that in there. All right, so let's go on to step 3. In step 3, you're going to talk about your guest. So you're going to do your episode topic, your guest, biography, and description. So here, insert an image of, that should be guest and not host. That's kind of weird. I'm going to fix that while we're sitting here. So guest, there we go. Insert an image of your guest. So you're going to put in, the interview guest, their name, their position, their bio, as well as why you were interviewing them. So a couple sentences there, and then also replace this text at the top and talk about your episode. What is the episode about? What are you going to be doing? As well as highlighting your guests. So remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 things you need to do on this one. Keep that in mind. All right, let's go on to number 4. This one, you're going to talk about your podcast format. So in this one, you're going to explain to us what your format looks like. So this is kind of a sample. So what we want to do is go in and change this around to fit yours. You're going to also talk about your interview. So put in the person that you're going to be interviewing. You're also going to look at, in the section, look at what we provided, and then you're going to provide your rationale about why you did that. So why you created your format. So you can kind of keep this one. If you don't have a tip of the week, delete it. Maybe you have some helpful hints. You can add that there. If you're going to add in your social media, great. Tell us what that is. But this is going to be thinking about what goes into your structure. All right. Let's move on to this page, the structure piece. You're also going to look at the length. So in this section, and again, we put a lot of notes into this, so hopefully it makes it easy. For this one, when you think about your podcast, generally podcasts are like 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and some are 2 hours, which, I couldn't sit through a 2-hour podcast. But anyway, also the rationale for your decision. For this one, you're just kind of, estimating. This is you're not going to do a full, 10-minute, 3-minute, a 30-minute or 60-minute one for this one. You're going to estimate, like, what would you think your podcast would run if you decided to do this one on a regular basis. Also, you would talk about the frequency. So how many times a week? Would it be once a week, twice a week? Would it be once a month? Would it be seasonally? And what is your rationale for that? So you're just kind of designing a podcast and how you think it should look. So if we go on to 5, You're going to create some cover art. So in the last module, you learned all about Midjourney, DALL-E, Firefly, Stable Diffusion. You're going to go in and create cover art for this. So we've kind of given you some how-tos as well as some other pieces. That's a sample of a College Success Podcast cover art. So you're going to create your cover art for this one. So again, as you click through this one, you're going to describe the process that you went through. You're going to use one of the AI generators. What was it like? How did you like using it? Will you use it in the future? All that other fun stuff. And then you're going to paste your cover art image right here so that way we can see it from the page. All right, let's keep moving. Number 6. Intro and outro music. Again, last week you learned about intro, outro music. You're going to get a chance to do the intro, outro music here again. So as you look at this, we talk about genre, we talk about mood, we talk about tempo, editing the fit, adding it to your podcast. So really thinking about what kind of music would you like to listen to. So think back to dissecting the podcast, and you probably got a chance to really think about, and you got a chance to hear several different podcasts that had music when the podcast started, music at the end. So for this one, I want you to think about what kind of music do you want to have? What kind of music would fit the mood and the tempo of your podcast? So again, you can use some AI generated music. So you're going to create intro, outro music. So the intro music is at the beginning, outro music is at the end. So you guys get to see all of our little fun notes. I'm not sure why those are still there, but kill them off as we go. So intro, outro music. You're going to share, the prompt that you use. You're going to describe your AI generated music. You're also going to share what program you use to create your music. You're going to link your intro music here and your outro music here. So make sure you fill this out completely. You are scored based on finishing these pieces. Again, the rubric walks you through that as well. So as we keep going, the next one is kind of one of my favorite parts because I really like using ChatGPT and Perplexity. I think they're kind of fun tools, but you're going to create your outline and your script using ChatGPT and Perplexity. You can choose a tool. I like to use both of them together just to see how they work and to see what's different. But there is a tutorial on this next page. So if you're like, I don't know how to do that, here is a link to each one, and there's a video right here that walks you through how to use it. So let's go back. So you're going to take this prompt, and you're going to put that into ChatGPT. And I want you to watch that video because I'm not going to go over this again because there's like a 10-minute video that walks you through it. But you're going to take that prompt, take out insert topic, put in your topic, and then you can utilize that as you're walking through and creating your script with ChatGPT. You are not copying and pasting information from ChatGPT or Perplexity. You are working with it as a writing kind of assistant or a writing coach. So you're going to put your ideas together with it, add in some pieces, and then go from there. So again, please don't copy and paste directly. Use it as a tool to see what it comes up with and that you can work on with it. All right. So again, videos on this page, links to both of the websites are right there. You do have to sign up for them. So next piece, there is a reflection. So take some time to reflect on this one and answer the questions. You get points for the reflections as well. For this one, we also asked you which one did you use. You're not going to use Claude. You could use Claude. Claude is another fun one, but we're not going to use that one. So I'm going to erase that one real quick while we're here. You guys get to see all my edits as I go through this. So it's kind of a fun little experience for both of us. So as we keep going, you want to put in the link to your script or your outline. You can decide if you're doing a script or you're doing an outline. You're going to put the link there so we can take a look at it. Make sure you share it. So make sure it's in your folder. You also are going to describe, how you utilize ChatGPT or Perplexity. What prompt did you use? And then did you find this to be an engaging process working with a chatbot? All right. Then there's one more. This is the overall, there's another piece of questions, so make sure you take a moment to answer that one. Again, we just want to know your experience. And then when you get to 8, there's an AI evaluation, which these questions take on a little bit of a different light, really thinking about how you developed your podcast and things that you found to be important. Goodness, there is so much in here that I thought had already been deleted. We work on these as a team, so you get to see our little team process and making. So as you keep looking at this, reflecting on your podcast, overall, looking at music, looking at art, looking at the chatbots developing your particular podcast, what was helpful? How did ChatGPT and Perplexity, now that you're done with that area, how did that support you? Did it support you? Did it hinder you? Do you like the process? When you think about writing, did it improve your writing? Was it nice to have that writing coach? And then we talk about, the influence on your research and data analysis. Did that help? And at what point, in that podcast development was most significant? So answer those questions. And as we keep trucking through this, 9 is all about your sources and your information, additional comments. So again, APA resources. If you've used any facts, images, or music, please cite them here. If you have additional comments for us, please go ahead and add them in this section as well. Part 10 is all about, and this is the last part, so if you guys are like, oh my gosh. So again, in part 10, you'll notice that we talk about how to put all this together. So this is your help guide. If you're like, I don't know how to put this together, take some time, read through this. We've added in links so that way it can help you as you go through it. There may be some editing that you need to do. Take some time to work through it. The Help Center is updated, so you can look at the Help Center for ideas and help on this one. So please let us know if you have questions. We are here to support you. Have fun.